You guys here for the dive show?
Yeah.
Is that why we're here?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to treat your ears to a little specialty because one of the things we do in dive school is we do karaoke. And so I'm just going to bring this nice song to you. Are you ready, DJ DeRoshi? All right? Who doesn't love Johnny Cash? Come on. Right? Johnny Cash?
God.
Here we go. Yeah. I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling around the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. Well, I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps on rolling on down to San Antone. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry. Come on, clap our hands. I wish I could dance, but I can't. That's okay. I see. All right, here we go. I'll bet there's rich folks eating from a fancy dining car. They're probably drinking coffee and smoking big cigars. Well, I know I had it coming. I know I can't be free. But those people keep on moving, and that's what tortures me. They freed me from this prison, that railroad train was mine. I bet I'd move it on a little farther down the line, far from Folsom Prison. That's where I want to stay. And I'd let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. Dive show can bring you that, huh? All right, well that is the introduction to our dive show. My name is Trooper Seth Little, okay, and I am the Troop C senior diver. Doesn't mean I'm the oldest diver in Troop C, however, I am the oldest diver in Troop C, okay? And I'm going to introduce you to my crew. Here we go, we got coming up those stairs, Tech Sergeant Neil Case!
Yay!
All right. And hopping up those stairs just because he is so happy to be here. Look at the smile on his face. Trooper Mike Hennessy!
Yay!
And we got the Big E from Troop D, Trooper Greg Ebro. All right. As these guys are getting ready to go into the water, I am going to brief you on a little history of the New York State Police dive team. We had our first dive as the New York State Police dive team logged in 1932. Okay? That makes us the oldest, and we are also the largest public safety dive team in the country.
Yay!
In the country!
Yay!
All right, there we go. And we dove with hard helmets back then. We dove with weighted shoes. We had canvas gear. Altogether, the weight of that equipment was well over 100 pounds. Okay? These were retired Navy divers that were troopers, and they were called upon to find some evidence in the water, and they did the job. Now in 1943, there was a smart fellow by the name of Jacques Cousteau. Jacques Cousteau invented the aqualung. The aqualung is commonly known as SCUBA. SCUBA is an acronym, okay? SCUBA stands for self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. It took the 100 pounds of equipment and it reduced it down to about 40 pounds or so. Now in 1957, the New York State Police dive team decided to adopt SCUBA as its preferred method of dive. So in 1958, they decided to send representatives down to learn from the best this newly acquired technology to the dive team. So we went to New Jersey to the Navy Dive School, okay? We sent some guys through there, they learned the lessons, they brought it back to Albany, where now we have our own novice dive school. It's 10 weeks long. It is known as one of the most arduous and hard schools to go through with the New York State Police. If you are lucky enough to make it through the tryouts, which most are not, there's only about half of the people that actually make it through the class. This last class we had 30, we only graduated 15. So to get where these guys are, it takes a lot of work. Let's give them a hand. All right, so the first thing you need to know about dives, you never dive alone, okay? You always need a dive buddy. Equipment can fail. You need somebody there to make sure that you are okay. These guys have looked each other over, they've looked at each other's gear, made sure everything was okay. Sarge, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
We checked each other out multiple times already.
Yes. Good.
Hey, but before the show really starts, we've got to get the kids up here.
Oh, you are correct. We do. Kids, if you want to see the divers up close, okay? If you're an adult and you want to see the divers up close, come up here. Come up in front of the tank. The only thing that we ask is that you sit down and watch the show, okay? That way people behind you can see. But go ahead, you can come on down, jump over the rope, crawl under the rope, just don't get choked with the rope, okay? That's all we ask. Anyone else? There we go, good hop, all right. They're coming out of the woodwork, Sarge.
That's awesome.
That is awesome, okay.
Seth, they were able to catch a little glimpse of what you have to offer before the show started.
I brought them Johnny Cash.
Did they appreciate it?
I don't know. I appreciated the opportunity.
Oh, so did we.
Oh, good. All right.
All right, so we are ready, but we're going to need a countdown first.
Okay, they need a countdown. Are we ready for a countdown? When I say go, we will count down from 3. Okay, that's as high as I go. So, go.
3, 2, 1.
Stop.
I'm sorry.
We're going to need more than that.
All right, we need energy here. Can we provide some energy?
Yes.
Can we provide some energy?
Yes.
All right. Okay, we'll see if we. All right. Go. 3.
3, 2, 1.
All right. There we go. Splash down. Now, the first thing that you will notice about these divers is as they enter the water, okay, they are not rising to the top, they're not sinking to the bottom, they're just staying static. They're moving along where they're at, okay? And you might say, well, that's easy. Well, that's actually the sign of an advanced diver, is making that look easy. It's not as easy as it looks. When you first begin to learn how to dive, a lot of times people will either rise to the top or sink to the bottom because they don't know how to attain what is called neutral buoyancy. These guys have done a masterful job in showing you what that is. Now the gear that they have a mask on their face. That mask allows them to see clearly. It provides a pocket of air between their eye and the lens, and as long as they are in clear water, they will see clearly. They have a regulator in their mouth. That regulator provides air which comes from the first stage, which is attached to the bottle. That bottle has 3,000 pounds of compressed air in it, okay? There's a lot of force behind it. The first stage reduces the 3,000 pounds of compressed air down to 145 pound per square inch flow, which allows the regulator to give the diver air on demand. That tank is attached to a buoyancy control device. Those are the black flaps that he's playing with right there. Those flaps are actually a bladder, okay? If he puts air in there, he will rise. If he takes air out, he will sink. Right now he's got the perfect amount of weight and he is just sitting there nice and comfortable, okay? Fun note about the mask: when you are in clear water like this and you have a mask, things seem 33% larger and 25% closer underwater, okay? So, if you have a friend who is a diver and he's like, I was down in the Florida Keys and you should have seen the Barracuda. It was this big. It's more like this big, but it's still a good story, right? Always brag about, you know, how big things are. So, we have Sergeant Case in here. He is a big man. And when he is flexing under there, his muscles look 33% larger to Trooper Hennessy. Now, Trooper Hennessy, you're not intimidated because you're a trooper. So you need to take care of business. Go at it. Come on. Take care of business. Now, we did not learn underwater judo in our dive school. It's just something we picked up along the way. But we did learn that things go wrong while we are in the water with our equipment. Okay, masks can come off. Don't panic. Panic is what hurts divers. So they just take the mask off, they calmly put it back on, just like they would if they were at the surface. And what they're going to do is create a seal, and then they're going to break the seal just between the bottom of the upper lip and the mask, and then they will blow air out of their nose. That air will actually go to the top of the inside of their mask, and as air fills up, it will push the water out. It will displace the water. And if you were up there seeing, you would actually see the level of the water go out. Now, other things can happen while we are under the water, okay? When we're in rivers, when we're in cow ponds, things like that, you can't see very well, okay? There's branches down there, there's trees. In a lot of rivers near cities, there's shopping carts, there's rebar, okay? These are the things that are in the water system. So if our gear gets caught, we have learned not to panic, okay? As you can see, Sergeant Case has the air in his mouth. As long as he has air in his mouth, he is good. So he calmly takes his gear off while he's under there. If he can figure out what's wrong, he will put his gear back on. But right now, he can't. So you know what? He's going to go up to the surface. He takes a breath from his regulator, and on the way up to the surface, he is breathing bubbles out, and he surfaces. Now, up there, all of a sudden it comes to him. I know what's wrong with my gear. So you know what? We've also been taught how to put gear back on. He will then surface dive down to his gear. He grabs that gear because that is where the weight is. It keeps him down there. First thing he does is put the regulator in his mouth, because if he has air, then there's no need to panic. He will then calmly put back on his gear and get back to work. Now you're saying, okay, no big deal, 20 feet or so, if that happens, things can remain calm. Well, the fact is, the New York State Police dive team, we are certified to dive 5 atmospheres. And what that means is we are certified to dive 132 feet, okay? This tower right here looks pretty tall, okay? This tower is 60 feet tall. So, you add another tower on top of that and another 12 feet. Last I knew, that was 132. And that is what we are certified to dive to. Yes, Sarge? Yes. Tower, 12 feet. We're certified for that. And we do not panic at that depth, because things not only can go wrong at that depth, there have been plenty of times where things do go wrong at that depth. All right, you might have a free flow on your regulator because of the pressures that are down that low. Or you might run out of air because you weren't quite keeping track. But you have your dive buddy with you. So we're having right here Trooper Mike Hennessy. He's saying to the sergeant, hey, I'm out of air. The sergeant comes over, he takes the regulator out of his mouth, maintaining control of that regulator, he puts it in his buddy's mouth. Take a couple breaths, he brings it back. Now, there is a reason that he does not give control of that regulator to his buddy. The reason is because his buddy is out of air. He might be a little nervous. The person who is less nervous is the person who actually still has air. So you want the person who has everything in working order to maintain control. And now you can see they're keeping a hold of each other right there, and they're giving a couple breaths, taking a couple breaths. They're not losing track, and they are going to surface 132 feet all the way to the top. So if something goes wrong, you do not panic, okay? Panic is what hurts diver. We have been taught not to do that. Another reason that we actually might take our pack off is not because something is wrong, but we need to make ourselves small. And what I mean by that is, if anybody remembers back in 2018, there was a soccer team. This soccer team was called the Wild Boars. They were over in Thailand. They had a coach that said to their kids, all right, you know what? We got a couple days off, let's go cave exploring. Good team building experience. So they went into the caves. It started raining terribly, okay? And so the water started coming up. It blocked the entrance of the cave. It was coming up so high they had to move back. And so they moved back to another chamber. Well, the water was still moving in, rising up. They had to keep moving back. They moved back a total of 2.5 miles in that cave system. Now, there were divers from all over the world. You had some Australian cave divers, you had some tech divers, you had some rescue divers, you had our own Navy SEALs that went to rescue these kids and their coaches, okay? Now, what they did in order to make it back through those cracks and crevices where these small kids and these small coaches made, they had to make themselves small. So Trooper Hennessy here is showing you how that is done. He is taking the pack off his back. He has air in his mouth. There's no need to panic. He maintains control of his pack. He puts it out in front of him, and then he just swims behind it, okay? Always maintaining control of his pack, and then when he gets to the other side, he just puts it back on. Now, the amazing thing is that all of those kids, all of the coaches, 2.5 miles back, in pitch dark, they were all saved, okay? Each one of them was saved. The fact is, though, is that there was a diver that lost his life, which just tells you there is an inherent risk of going underwater. It is not natural to breathe underwater. You need to know what you are doing before you attempt that. But these guys put their lives on the line in order to effect rescues and in order to find things. So let's give them a hand. All right, so I grew up a little while ago. You might be able to tell by the gray hair and the Johnny Cash songs. I don't know. But when I grew up, we only had 3 channels, okay? We had UHF and VHF. And when my dad wanted the channel changed, he'd hit me in the back of the head and say, go change the channel. So I said, okay, Dad. But one of the things that I loved to watch when I was growing up was Johnny Quest. And Johnny Quest had all the neat stuff, okay? He had an underwater scooter. This is the equivalent of an underwater scooter, and it's so cool that we get to use these things. This is a DPV, a diver propulsion vehicle. And what it is it's a motor, it's a battery, and it's a propeller. All right? It makes you move through the water a lot easier than swimming. It saves energy. When you save energy, you save air. When you save air, when you get to where you're supposed to get to, you'll have more of all of it to be able to get the job done that you need to get done. And he's jumping the shark. Does anybody know where that comes from? Yes?
Happy Days.
Happy Days, that's right. Could use some Happy Days again, huh? All right, so he makes this look real easy. Let's see here. You know what? I think we need to spicy this up a little bit. All right, spicy. So I want you to go through that tunnel with the DPV. Yes. Kids, do you think he can make it through that tunnel with the DPV? You want him to try? Come on, let's have him try. Do it for the kids. Let's see here. All right, he's going through. Don't chop your face. All right. And he made that look easy. Let's give him a hand. All right, good job, Mike. I'm impressed.
Hey, Seth.
Yes, Sarge.
He actually made it through there pretty easily. I think I want to try.
I don't think that is a good idea, Sarge. You are about 33% larger than Mike.
It only looks that way underwater.
You're not underwater. And it looks that way right now.
No, I can fit. I know I can.
Do you think that the sergeant can fit through that tunnel with a DPV and his gear on his back?
Yeah, see, they all think I can fit.
Well, it's about half and half, but hey, go for it.
I can fit. I've got this.
All right. All right, now the sergeant is very adept at using this DPV, but as you will see, when he gets into the water, if you will see him go past that tunnel, I'm just thinking that there is, this might be embarrassing. Yeah, it might be, but we'll see. Here he goes, he's getting ready. Yeah, no, that's, Sarge, that is embarrassing. I'm sorry you can't be out here to see that, but, you know, it's no good. You have one more idea? Okay, all right. We'll give you one more shot. I don't think it's going to go well, but we will see. Oh! The Sarge's full of good ideas. Let's give him a hand. Very nice. All right. So, yes, Sarge. No, I know. We all clapped for you. It was very well done. Oh, you want a reward? Okay. Greg, do we got anything for the sergeant in there? He's okay. We got a banana. All right. So there you go. While he is eating his banana, I will explain to you what is going to happen next. And the fact is as a dive team, as an underwater recovery team, our motto is, if it's in there, we are going to find it. Now, the water that we dive in, it by no means does it look like this, okay? We're diving in the Hudson River, we're diving in the Susquehanna River, we're diving in cow mines. But we say, again, if it's in there, we're going to find it. And so Trooper Hennessy here is pulling out a line search. That line is our proven method of finding what we are looking for. Okay, there is a line with two heavy weights on either side, and he is going to make that tight. Now, Trooper Hennessy, we are going to have you put on a taped off mask right there. This is what we would use in the novice dive school in the pool as we are training people to find things in no visibility. We would have them put this mask on, and then we would throw evidence into the pool. So if the Big E will do that for us, there he goes. Okay, so this is a gun. This gun was used in a bank robbery. The bank robber just drove away on a four-wheeler and threw this in the river as he was crossing over a bridge. Well, we know about the right area. We're not exactly sure, but this line search will help us find what we are looking for. So he is going from either side to the other, and he's moving the weight over just a little bit as he goes. Now, our symbol, the octopus. The reason we chose this as a symbol is because if you've ever seen it move around on the floor of the ocean, it touches everything, right? It just hovers above everything and touches everything. That's what we as divers do. And so Trooper Hennessy is doing that perfectly, okay? He moves it over a little bit more, and he's coming up, and let's see if he finds it, and he does, so let's give him a hand. He did what he was supposed to do. He found the evidence. This is going to help close the case. All right, a little bit farther on down the river. Bank robber decides, you know what, I need to get rid of the four-wheeler too. I just don't need to get rid of the gun because they saw me go away on this four-wheeler. Well, as this four-wheeler is brought down, we're just going to simulate real quick for you that the diver went down a little bit farther down the river. He found the four-wheeler. He's going to mark the four-wheeler off. And I told you before that we have come away from hard helmet diving. Our preferred method is scuba. But we have found in recent years a reason to go back to hard helmet diving. And one of those reasons is if we are lifting heavy things above our head, okay, equipment can fail. So what goes up must come down. Or if you are in an overhead environment, a lot of times we are going down on planes that have crashed or vehicles that are in the water, okay? And as we're putting our head in these things, there might be sharp objects, sharp metal. We want to protect our heads, all right? And so that is what we do with the hard. Okay, Mike, all right, your portion. Let's give Mike a hand. His portion is over, so that Mike can get out of the way for the big show here. All right, good job, Mike. And here, speaking of the big show, here he is, the Big E from Troop D. That's right, protecting his beautiful head with that beautiful helmet. All right. So, are you ready to enter the water? He said that was the sign of he is good. So he is going to go ahead and he is going to enter that water. Now, as you will see, he does not have one of those buoyancy control devices on his back. Instead, what he has is the hard helmet, and then he also has a dry suit. That suit is airtight, okay? So he can either add air to that suit or take air out of it using a vent in his shoulder, which will allow him to sink or rise. And so he wants applause, folks. Let's give him applause. He's begging for it, and if we give him enough, he might dance. If you show us a dance, we might really clap that. All right, very good. Very nice, look at that. Who can do that besides you? No one, no one, that's right, that's right. Okay, so your job is not over yet. No, we didn't come to see your dancing, okay, although it was very nice. All right, you need to get the job done. What were you supposed to do? Find the, yes, the four-wheeler, which was marked for you, and you are supposed to bring that up out of the water. Look at him, speed of light. He is just, it's like the $6 million man. I can hear the music right now. All right, so how are you going to get that four-wheeler out of the water? Your strength? I don't think that's a good idea. Okay, all right, let's see here. Here he goes. He's trying. Yeah, no. No. All right, that's embarrassing. I know, and I'm using that term a lot. It's unfortunate. So, you know what you need to do? You need to use your head. That's right, that is protected by that helmet. All right, so what he is going to do is he is going to bring out a lift bag. This lift bag comes in various sizes, okay? And so we can attach a lot of lift bags, or we can attach one just depending on the size and what it will lift. But in order for the bag to lift the object that it is attached to, it needs to be buoyant. So he will introduce air to that lift bag. As the surface of that bag expands because of the air introduced into it, the force of the water pushing up on that bag will make the object buoyant going to the surface, and the diver gets out of the way. So if it falls back down, he is out of the way. He did everything perfectly. Let's give him a hand. Very exciting, Greg. Very exciting. All right. So, I believe, though, right now the sergeant just has a couple things to tell you while that four-wheeler is being pushed out of the way.
Yeah, I just want to take a moment to recognize these guys for what they do on a daily basis. Every single time they go underwater, whether it's training or a search and recovery mission, they're putting their lives on the line to service the people of the state of New York, to provide closure to the cases. So if you could please join me in thanking them for what they do on a regular basis. Thanks, guys.
Well, it has been my pleasure to be your guide on the underwater recovery team adventure. And right now we have the best poser in the New York State Police who is trying to untangle his line. He's being successful at it. And he is more than willing to pose in that tank. If you want to come up, take some pictures, have your kid stand in front of him, or you can stand in front of him. Other than that, the canine show will be next. Those lovable animals and their flea-bitten handlers will be out here to entertain you. All right, other than that, have a great day at the New York State Fair. Thank you.
Anything for the dog? Yeah.